Welcome, everyone. You are about to embark on a journey through the universe as you indulge in this extraordinary essence of enlightened, empowered, evolved. Let the show begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Just in time. Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved, where we educate, motivate, and liberate you through enlightening dialogues, empowering music, and evolving content. I am excited yet again because my next phenomenal guest, is a passionate advocate for leadership, personal growth, and emotional resilience. Known as a midlife catalyst, she has helped countless individuals navigate life's toughest transitions, whether through grief, addiction recovery, or personal reinvention. And there's a whole lot more, and we'll get into that. But without further ado, allow me to introduce to you Amanda Younts. How are you doing today, Amanda?
I am great, and I am so happy to be here.
Absolutely. I am a firm, I can say believer, but I have pretty much graduated from simply believing to knowing. I know that everything that it unfolds, perfectly. And we are meant to have this conversation today. But before I continue, I just want to say that I know that time is one of our most precious assets. And for you to share a moment of your time here with me on Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved, I just want to extend my sincerest gratitude to you. Thank you very much, Amanda, for being here at this present moment.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Grateful to be here.
Yes. So let's just get right into it. Can you tell us a bit about this? When leaders prioritize wellness, everyone wins. Tell us a little bit about that or elaborate on that a bit.
I will, because we've all heard there's no I in team, right?
Right,
The
right,
great Michael Jordan
right,
trademark that. But where there is an I
right.
is in leadership. And what I mean by that is we want to often displace ownership of wellness onto someone else. We want to blame the organization for infringing on our boundaries and overwork. But my belief is that we are all leaders of our lives. We are the CEO of our lives,
Wow.
regardless of job title
Mm,
or status, either in an organization or in your home. You know, we get so wherever you are the most important to your wellness. So that individualist, the I is you as the individual, put the onus on you to create that wellness within the day.
mm,
It's not prescribed. It's not someone else's plan. It's not a program. It is small micro habits that are intentional and deliberate, embedded
mm.
into those mindsets, actions, and behaviors that you do. So, trickling down from that, as someone in a leadership role who often throughout her career has set herself on fire to make sure everyone else's needs are taken care of, right?
Right.
And their priorities are met. Exhausting myself was when I flipped the script of, oh, no, no, I am not the best leader
Mm.
for others when I am not prioritizing myself, when I am not kind to myself with my wellness.
Right,
I
right.
can be kind and a great leader for others.
That's absolutely amazing, Amanda. And there's a couple of points that really stood out to me. Well, basically everything did, but what you just said lastly about in my perspective, in my interpretation, is I can't pour out into anyone else's cup unless I fill my own. Would I be right to say that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, it really resonated with me. You um, elaborating on the points of being a leader, basically in your own world, your home, and yeah. So that right there is very powerful. And thank you for breaking that down, so to speak, for us. Next, I want to say the I in leadership starts with you. You kind of touched on some of that in this. Yes.
Yes.
Uh,
Because so
okay, go ahead.
as someone who goes in, and looks at organizational health and wellness, we talk about, I come from an education background where it doesn't matter where you are in America, there's a teacher shortage, right? There's an
Right.
educator shortage. We hear this. But you can do what you want with salary. We all know that needs to increase always. But there's also these two things we do. And as I've kind of branched out into this role, I've seen, oh, this isn't solely an education problem. There are many other industries where this happens. We have really pretty strategic plans, vision, mission on paper.
Right.
But when
Right.
you we don't walk that talk. It sounds good on paper and it looks good on employee web pages and organizational websites and job descriptions of employee wellness, employee incentives, employee, those wellness. Because we've come to the point in society, we know mental health is a thing. We have finally, it's
Right.
taken a while to
Yes,
acknowledge
I
that
agree.
mental health is an actual component that we need to curate for our employees. If we actually don't want to have a shortage, if we want to have and recruit the best people, a huge component of that is not just putting on paper, we believe your mental health is a priority, your wellness is a priority. It's
Right.
taking that into action and onus.
Right.
And then creating the systems where that can occur.
Mm,
And so that's where it comes into the eye of it's not, one big sweeping event.
right.
I've been a part of places, and they do a January New Year's Get Fit or a step challenge,
Right.
but it's the small steps each day. Hey, are we scheduling in 10-minute breaks? Are we creating an employee wellness lounge where people can go in and do some deep breathing, relaxation, stretching, yoga? Like your environment is set up to support and nurture the wellness. And then the individual can take what works for them. Because not everyone, I love to walk. I can go walk for an hour, but that doesn't fit everyone's,
Right.
exercise and wellness plan.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you've got to offer different strategies and alternatives.
Yes. No one size fits all, so to speak. So yes, that's absolutely amazing. And I personally live my life by that exact modality right there is cultivating it's just growth mentally, emotionally, um, physically, just even when I'm on social media, when I look at social media, all I have coming across my feeds are things that are feeding my mind. And I'm not saying this to try to overshadow someone else or to diminish what anybody else does, but I'm just setting an example of I believe that what ties into what you were saying is everything that comes across my feed is something to elevate you in some way, shape, or form. And I do in daily. So daily, that's cultivating growth. And I read daily as well. Even some days are shorter than others, but I try to read for at least 2 hours a day. And just that's my I don't want to use the word pattern, but just that's what I do. And
It becomes ingrained in you. Yeah.
right, right. And as far as physically, sometimes oftentimes I have fallen off. I'm careful of how I even word things because I'm not trying to give that power, but I have fallen off. But my daily talks are about healthy foods to eat or, what exercise I did or didn't do. But that's daily for me. And yes, it does make a difference. Yes, amazing.
Yeah. One thing you said that I have really, in the last, we'll say 90 days, kind of flipped the script on because we hear a lot on the social media, the doom scrolling.
Right.
And what you spoke to hope scrolling.
Mm, right.
And so, right to that has been a mental change of get your feed full of hope.
Right. Yes, I'm very particular on who I follow and the people I connect with as well, because I want to connect, as I expand, I want to connect with people that are sharing that same, frequency or at least, working on themselves in some capacity. And, that's where I am in life now. So that's amazing. So when rock bottom becomes a turning point, can you elaborate a bit on that? And wow, I have some things that I would like to say as well, but this is right now, the spotlight is on you, Amanda.
Okay. So, this is a complete flip, no story.
Okay.
Um, 2018, I'm an only child, only grandchild, so very small family. Um, 2018, my 69-year-old, very healthy dad died of
Oh,
pancreatic cancer. A year and 4 days later, my 70-year-old, very healthy mom died of colon cancer.
wow.
So, experiencing that, in addition to having really a 25-year addiction to alcohol. I knew from the
Right.
time I was 14 that I had a problem, that I
Right.
drank differently than other people.
Wow.
But, that's a pretty approved drug in society. So most
Right.
people didn't see anything wrong with it. Um, and I really didn't have rock bottom that most people would say, I was high performing in my job. I was very high functioning.
Mm,
Um, but the rock bottom for me was I witnessed two people die,
mm, right.
and on their deathbeds, they had lived the lives that they wanted, kind of going into, they didn't have regrets. And one of the things I do with people is walk them through writing an obituary because I believe you start with the end in mind and work your way backwards, knowing what you want those metrics to be for your life.
Right.
And so I knew from that point on that I could not say if, when, whenever, because that's the only certainty we have. We're all going to die. And so I
Right.
have no control over that. But what I do have control over is that I needed to flip how I was living my life to be able to have those metrics. And so for me, the rock bottom was that death, and very, hard deaths for me taught me how to live.
Mm. That's thank you for sharing that, uh, especially the personal, heartfelt. tragedies in your family. I just, I had to say that I really resonate with that because I feel, in my perspective, that I've come to learn that these these situations. I don't want to jump around, but I just shared a quote earlier today that really ties into what you just said. And let me see if I can find it really quick. And it says, actually, if you on my page on Facebook on social media, I just put observe, dissect, learn from, and transform your trauma into fuel for growth and success. So that kind of ties into what you just said. I couldn't have made that up. I just shared that today.
Wow. That is like so powerful because as you were saying that, and I'm over here writing it down, like I'm going to your Facebook page when we're done.
Yes,
Um,
Luke Bryan Smith. I just
I,
I put on kinds of. I'm sorry to cut you off. I put all kinds of motivational, uh, quotes. I have a dynamic, a very colorful, diverse way I do it. Some of my stuff is stoic. Some of my stuff, I try to reach the youth, so I make it more cool and urban like. But all of it shares one thing. It's all the main theme is personal development, is uplifting, it's empowerment, it's encouragement, it's yes to reach connect with your higher self. So yeah, check it out. Check out my yeah. Send me a request or whatnot if you like to. Because I put when I complete these segments, I make shorts out of them and I upload them to my page as well. So you'll be on there. You'll be a star on my page as well. So yes, please do.
I love it.
Yes.
Absolutely. Love it. I don't think I wrapped up the rock bottom part.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I apologize for interrupting
No,
your
that
flow.
was on me. No, I was following you.
Okay.
So the rock bottom, so many people after this
Okay.
in the spring of 2020, which we all know what we were going through then,
Right.
after I had gone through my grieving process, people were like, you know what? Do whatever you want because here's your place in life. And I was like, no, I'm getting sober. So I took the time in the pandemic to get sober when everyone around me was like, this is your spiral out of control. Just do it. And I was like, no, no, no. I'm not hitting rock bottom. I'm
Right.
climbing up. So
Right. Amazing.
that's where
And
I'm from.
and one thing I'd like to add to that is once you do hit rock bottom, if you do embrace that term, there's no place to go but up. So, you know, and that resonates with me on another level as well is I felt that I had hit a rock bottom in 2016 due to some um, just very hard things I went through with my kids from my previous marriage, and it just devastated me. And that caused me to finally in my life, because prior to that, I had been pointing outward from things that would happen. This time, something happened. I pointed inward and started to look at myself and seek information and knowledge online in the library about how, to empower myself in various ways. So that's the moment I feel that year was the moment I started a transformation, which was prior to that, I liken it to me being in a cocoon for most of my life, and then finally broke out of that cocoon and becoming a butterfly. So yeah, I relate to that as well. So breaking free from routine, making midlife your most empowering season. I feel empowered just by hearing that, but can you give us some insight on that as well?
Yes, because growing up And even, I would say until recently, until some of us in midlife have started to change the narrative and flip the script, you always heard midlife crisis. If someone
Right.
wanted to, change careers, change professions, get a divorce, move cities, well, they
Right.
get a different hairstyle or car, it's a crisis. Why is that a crisis? Maybe we just have transformed and evolved into knowing and becoming who we want to be. And maybe, not maybe, it is okay
Right.
to try things.
Mm.
As children, we're encouraged, right? Try,
Right.
try, try,
Right.
ride your bike, fall down, walk, fall, all these things. It's fine. It's fine. But once you hit really high school, when grades matter, performance matters,
Right.
accolades matter, there's no room for failure. It's here's your path and go. But we lost the exploration,
Mm.
ability to
Right.
be creative, to kind of nurture those internal things. And so that is the catalyst of, again, you don't have the time, the window of life starts to close in on you in midlife, right? You
Right.
finally get it. Takes some of us longer than others. And it's
Right.
like,
I can
wow,
attest to that. I'm sorry. Yes. Yes.
yes, I've got to pay the bills. Yes, we've got to do the basic things. But we've also got to have fun
Right.
and nurture our souls and show up to empowering conversations.
Right.
And that's going to look different for other people. But it's those people that in your life that haven't hit that point yet become very uncomfortable when you start to do that.
Mm. Yes. And why do you think that is, Amanda?
Well, we like
Mm.
familiarity. We like
Right.
what's routine. I like routine, but I get bored
Right.
easily.
Right.
But it also means I've got to start to look, we don't like to look internal.
Mm.
And so when you change, does that mean something's wrong with me and I should be changing? Does that mean you haven't been fulfilled, in our friendship or relationship or job? As opposed to, no, I just want to keep growing and learning and evolving.
Right.
We only have so much time. I want to maximize it, right?
Right.
So,
Amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And I I would have a similar definition for why people will become uncomfortable. And I've been one of those at one point in my life when I've seen someone, um, in my perspective, gaining a certain amount of success that I wasn't acquiring. I don't know. I don't want to say it's human nature because I don't know every human, but it caused me to feel some sort of insecurity with myself. And now, the way that I am now, especially those around me that I embrace and that are endearing to me, whenever I see them winning in some way, that makes me feel good, like I'm winning too, instead of the opposite. And if it's something that I feel that I need to apply to myself, I'll just ask questions. How'd you do that? Or what steps did you take? Instead of being insecure and wishing it was me and being upset at their their growth or success. Now it's totally different. I think it's just everything to me is perspective and just the way that you think and the way you look at things. And so yes, it's I agree when someone shows some sort of growth or change that we aren't used to, all of a sudden we start looking comparing it to ourselves. I'm not sure quite why we do that, but yes, that is, instead of just separating it and looking at, oh, that's their journey, this is my journey. No, we compare other people's journeys to our own. So yeah, amazing. Thank you. Find your beach where everyone is seen as valid. Elaborate on that, please, Amanda.
This is probably my favorite. I'm a beach person,
Oh yeah, me too.
but I live in Oklahoma. I mean, we don't have a lot of beaches, right?
Right,
But not everyone is a beach person. Some people prefer the mountains or the lake or even their backyard.
right,
It's a understanding everyone has a place in a that makes them feel at home, where they feel their best self, do their best thinking, show up as their best relaxed person. And the thing about the beach, which is why I love this analogy, is it doesn't matter. The beach is free for the most part. You can
right.
show up as you are. You don't need a lot to be happy there.
No,
And it doesn't matter. So when we're talking about a beach, you've got a beach ball that has many different colors on the ball. Everyone is coming to life from a different stripe on that ball.
mm, okay.
We're not all, it's a boring ball if it's no ball that's just red. It's got to have the colorful stripes, right? So what makes it that way is that we're all unique individual with our own perspective and taking value in that perspective and bringing it to the table.
Absolutely. Wow. I love that analogy. Yeah, with the beach ball, and I'm going to remember that. Matter of fact, I should have my paper and and pen right now writing it down. I do have one close by, but I'm going to remember that, the beach ball. And I can visualize that when as you were articulating that. Yes, very vividly. And you're right. Absolutely amazing. Amazing. So we're down to about 7 minutes. So how can people find you? Do you have a website that you can share here audibly with us?
Yes, midlifecatalyst.net. I'm Midlife Catalyst across most social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I'm on Substack, which is where a huge amount of my writing and resources and references can be found. Amanda Younts on Substack.
Substack. I never heard of Substack. I'm gonna have to check that out. I love learning new things every day. Now that I'm gonna write down because I've never heard of. And if you can excuse me just for one moment, I'll write it down on one of my pages in my book. I'm currently reading a book on meditations, healing meditations. I don't know. It's probably showing up backwards, maybe. I don't know. But yeah,
I got it.
amazing.
Yes.
Just relaxes me. But what's that app or whatever the site? It's
It is an
Substack.
Substack.
Okay. And you can just share writings on it. Oh, okay.
Writings you can do, it's evolved. It used to be, when I joined, it was like New York Times best-selling authors on there, and it was a bit intimidating. And over the last 2 years, just normal folks like myself, I do a newsletter,
Oh,
you
okay.
can do short notes, you can do videos. I hyperlink my podcast there.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna
Um,
check it out because
it's
I I
all
uh I write quotes. I love doing that. And my quotes
your
may or may not all be original. I don't pride myself on that. It's just whatever I'm feeling. I just write it down or something I go through in life that see my mind is geared to find solutions now when I go through something. So part of those solutions, part of what cultivates those solutions is me coming up with some type of quote to bring light to whatever I'm going through, to even if it's to convict me somehow and to help me do better next time, you know. Yeah, just but yeah, that's how I am inspired to do
Would be
write my quotes.
an amazing Substack note writer then, because it's a lot of quotes and how you can apply that to life and life lessons. So
Yeah,
yes,
if you go to you'll see a lot of my quotes if you go to, well, I share them on my Facebook, but if you go to 333 Empower on Instagram, you'll see my quotes. And also you can go check out some more of my uh, uh, podcasts on YouTube. Um, Enlightened, Empowered,
yes.
Evolved, or 333 Empower. You checked them out already?
I haven't, but I'm going to
Oh, okay.
now.
So if you hit at 333 Empower, that you'll find me, my channel, and yeah, the Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved podcasts. Yes, yes, amazing. So before we conclude this segment, is there anything that you want to leave us with?
I my latest quote,
Okay.
it has been that can do a lot for us, but it cannot live your life or write your story, and you need to be the author of your own narrative.
Mm, okay. Amazing. Now, and you mentioned briefly that you had just talked about something somewhere. Did you have an event or a speaking engagement?
Yes, I had a speaking engagement. Actually, there are from 5 states, Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri, Mississippi, Louisiana. It's a regional consortium of career technology educators, which I think is so important um, for our kids who college may not be readily accessible and available for them,
Right.
but that need more hands-on. It gives so many pathways to opportunities. And so, yes, I was speaking with them, working on leadership, training, and development.
And I take it went well.
It went amazing.
Amazing.
Just talk about
Amazing.
one of those bucket fillers, gave me energy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. I want to extend my gratitude to you once again for bringing more incredible value to the podcast. Thank you very much, Amanda Younts. I appreciate you very much and appreciate listening and speaking with you today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. And thank you everyone for watching and or listening. Be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button, go into the description of this segment and read in more detail upon Amanda Younts and click her links and yeah, check her out. Even if it's just to be inquisitive. Yes. Thank you very much, everyone. Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. See you soon. Love and appreciation to everyone.